welcome back to an explosive, bomb-droppingly good episode of Sequel Pitch. We've got guns, we've got muscles, we haven't got much of a plot, but our muscles and guns will make up for it. We've got a squad of completely expendable pitchers today, so let's not waste your time and introduce them so they can conveniently show off their particular skills needed for this mission. Who is he? He's the Haig! It's Ross Harmston.
Who's Haig again? Who plays Haig?
No,
I just even if you watch this film and you don't watch this film, it still makes as much sense. Yeah,
like the thing is, the Haig could genuinely be one of the Expendables' names.
Hello.
Next up is someone who loves fighting so much he got married. It's Drew Toynbee.
That was, well done. Good stuff. Hello, everyone.
To be fair, that's probably the best joke from the movie.
Yeah.
I should have saved it for Patreon. Oh, damn. And finally, a friend who helped co-create the podcast but has now come back to kill us all. It's Matt Rushton.
Hey.
Yeah, you know it.
This movie's so bad, it was so hard to pick out things to introduce you guys. It's just like, be happy with what that you got. So this episode, we were forced to watch Expendables 3, which has made up my mind whether to go see Expendables 4 or Expendables. But in case you watched the first two films and decided to stop watching it at the third, let me give you a quick recap of what happens, and I'll try not to make it as boring as the actual film. So the Expendables are on a helicopter flying to an armoured prison train. How do we know it's an armoured prison train? It says so on the screen. Where are they? We don't know, but they're there to break someone out of the train. Who? It's not important. Who are the Expendables killing to get this someone? Hopefully all bad people with no redeeming qualities as everyone dies. They break the someone out and we find out way too late that this is an old friend and old member of the Expendables. They then go to stop a shipment of bombs and Barney meets Conrad Stonebanks, played by Mel Gibson, and a former co-founder of the Expendables who went rogue. He shoots Terry Crews, so they try and capture Stonebanks and bring him to the International Criminal Court where he'll be tried for war crimes. Feeling responsible for Terry Crews' injuries, Barney says he doesn't want any of his friends to die and fires them from the Expendables. He then goes recruiting younger people whose blood he doesn't mind having on his hands, but of course the older guys come back because they're on the movie poster, and they try and capture Stonebanks, but Barney ends up shooting him and then has the most average jump off a crumbling building onto a helicopter, and everyone's fine, including Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Right, so boys, let's put down the weights, stop getting buff, so you can give me your quick thoughts and scores. And if you want to hear us really go into this movie, or at least I will, head over to Patreon/SequelPitch and subscribe to become a Pitch Pal. And while you're online, head over to Twitter, or fucking X, or whatever it's going to be called next week, and follow us and spread the good word of Sequel Pitch around to all your friends.
Yeah.
So,
Preach the pitch.
Preach the pitch. Oh, preach the pitch. Nice. Go on, Matt, start us off. What did you think of this movie?
I didn't mind it as much as I thought I was going to not mind it. You look at the cast, you know for what you're signing up to an action movie where there is going to be, as we discussed in the last episode, there's clearly not going to be any interest in plot development. There's clearly not going to be any interest in developing characters. We know as much as we need to know about these guys by now. It's the third movie, so fine. Like, it's lots of guns and explosions, little interesting character development, lots of little quips between a load of classic action heroes that were kind of like, oh, it's interesting they're in a movie together. And yeah, there's lots of explosions and lots of near misses and loads of hero plot armor. So yeah, we're good. It's an action movie. I'm gonna score it three sniper bullets to the ass out of 5. Poor Terry Crews really had it dirty. I don't know why he shot him in the ass, but I thought that was particularly dirty.
Shot him in the arse, and then the bullet turned sideways, went up. It was abdomen and came out of his chest. Like, that is
that's a good shot by Mel.
bullet.
Yeah. He might be an anti-Semitic, but he's a good shot. Ross, what do you think?
It's the weakest one of the trilogy so far. It's got Mel Gibson as the bad guy, which, gives it some sort of... he's just insane in it, which is cool. But as soon as Stallone goes, I don't want you guys in my thing no more. You guys are all fired. And then he goes on this thing to find new people. We're like, oh, this is the shit version. These are the shit people.
Yeah, who are going to fail.
Yeah, I don't want to see Ronda Rousey and fucking the other two guys that are generic.
Three. There are actually three of them, Ross.
There were three guys.
Three of them. And I don't want to see those. I want to see the original guy. I want to see more action heroes. Why did you not add more people? And also, why have you made it PG-13?
Oh, man.
Why did you make it PG-13?
I think that was around the time where a load of like R-rated movies were doing the PG-13 thing, because Sly said he did it basically to broaden the audience, and then he came out afterwards and said it was the wrong move.
I would almost guarantee that it was all in response to the MCU and like PG-13 movies storming the global box office. All the execs were like, look, we'll fund this movie, but actually teenage, like 8 to 10-year-old boys have been underserved and they're clearly desperate for movies aimed more at them. So we'll only fund it if you make it PG-13.
So for me, and then like, yeah,
sorry,
and
Ross.
I think they were like Matt said, like there's not really much of a journey in this one. Like it follows the same exact story. One of them gets injured, or like
Did you watch the other two then before?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
okay.
and yeah, like so for me, it's going to get 2 random dictator guys in the beginning of the movie standing behind the door that has the train coming directly into it, which also inexplicably has his front office that goes straight into.
Such bad position. I forgot about that. The train comes in through the front door, basically, like the track.
And his office is like randomly in the by the train track.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
He didn't want to
Anyway,
like walk far. When he got off the train, he didn't want to walk far. Off the train, he's like into the office straight away.
So 2 out of 5 for me.
Well, that's still pretty generous in my opinion, Drew.
It's real bad. It's real bad. I don't like this movie. There are a few funny moments. There are approximately 3 actors who know what the movie they're in actually is, which I believe are Wesley Snipes, maybe 4. Wesley Snipes, Antonio Banderas, Jason Statham, sort of, and Mel Gibson. And the rest of them think they're making something really badass, or the production team do. This movie thinks that it's serious, and it should not be. It's not over the top in any of the ways you want it to be. The editing's dreadful, the dialogue's dreadful, the stunts are boring, and the CG's terrible. It's all so low effort. It's got one of the worst green screen effects of 2 old men sat in a car with like really bad edging around Kelsey Grammer's face. It's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. I laughed at like 2 things, and I forgot most of the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
I will go into my thoughts further in the full review, where I'll just continue to just say hateful things about this one pointlessly important lucky skull ring out of 5.
Fair, yeah. I'm definitely leaning more towards Drew. This was an awful movie. Nothing good. To be fair, it was such a run-of-the-mill movie. There was just nothing original. Nothing exciting. You can watch a bad movie and be like, oh, there was at least that fun scene, or that great death, or that funny line, or the awkward something. Nothing in this movie, because it's all been done. Like, well, the synopsis where I was like, oh, he runs off the edge of a building as it's collapsing. Like, he just runs in a straight line. He doesn't like try and dodge anything or have to jump over holes. Just there, and then we know he's gonna live. That's fine. But like such a boring run and then jump. Like just show your stunt double a bit more, and then we can have some more probably like fight scenes. Yeah, I was bored. Every other note I made about this movie is I'm so bored. How can an action movie be this boring? And then loads of boards. I felt like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. I'm going to give it one bad tax evasion joke. Because fucking pay your tax, people. Pay your tax. Right, wow, that's probably not going to be a recommendation. Drew, are you on the scores?
Yeah, Matt, sorry, what was your score again, mate?
3. We got 3 for Matt,
I
2
gave
for
it
Ross.
3.
One between me and you.
It comes out at 1.75 out of 5.
Yeah.
It's
I'd say a 3.
it got rated lower than Gone with the Wind.
Oh, Jesus.
Slightly like 0.42 above Transformers Last Night. Exactly the same score as Halloween Kills. There we go. Exactly the same as Halloween Kills.
Oh, wow.
Franchising.
I don't know
It's
which
never
I would
good for
rather
business.
watch out of those two.
Yeah.
Right.
I do. And it wasn't this one.
Oh, yeah, you fucking love Halloween, yeah. Right, let's put the muscles down and pick up the reading glasses because it's time to get your sequels pitched. Right, I'm looking for that classic back and forth witty banter between Barney and Christmas. Muscles sweating from the weight of the gun they're holding. Explosions so detailed I can smell the smoke coming from your words. And maybe a betrayal or two. But please, for the love of biscuits, do not make your pitch boring. Let's start with...
I wish you told us that before. I wish we got that as a kind of feed. As like, this is the checklist of things that I want from the pitch, please.
Oh, go on then, Matt. Since you're nervous, I'll start with you.
Oh, yes, I'm nervous. I am terrified.
What's your
My
name and
movie
blurb?
is called... It's called The Expendables 4.
Are we not going for
Keeping with tradition.
Expendables? The actual title
No,
of the
because
movie.
I feel like...
doesn't make...
Yeah, I feel like you'd just be like, you've copied it. So I'm like, I'm bringing you something fresh. Fresh as a
everyone remembered
daisy.
Fan 4 Stick, so not probably in the best way. So yeah, maybe
That
Expendables
sounds
4
so
is the best.
Right, my blurb. The Motley Crew come face to face with their most dangerous foe yet. One who's out for revenge.
Oh!
Oh, my God.
Oh my God. What the heck? Cool. So we open to find Stallone and all the crew in the hangar doing mercenary things, and a parcel arrives for Trench. He opens it, joking it's not his birthday for another 3 months, and the parcel explodes. And then it feels like he loses an arm or something. I don't think he dies, it's quite armor, but maybe he loses an arm. Maybe just feeding this in now, Andy, it comes back and he's got like a metal arm at the end of it. French. Anyway,
Stop copying my Fast and Furious.
it's not important.
Diesel.
It's not important. A note falls out of the debris for Stallone, warning the sender is the gift that keeps on giving, and it's finished with an M in a fancy calligraphy. The film is all about the tracking down and the eliminating of this unknown M, who they find out, because they're all mercenaries and awesome, that it's, of course, Mel Gibson's daughter that he references, Martha. It's played by Emilia Clarke. She's taken her father's reins, and it turns out she's been trained by him too, so she's just as mental. Act 1 is the discovery of Martha, and there's lots of killing and torturing of bad guys, and lots of cool, like, explosions and insert action scenes from Ross, and all the cool things to kick off the movie. Then Act 2 is kind of slowing it down. They've got to find the compound. They find it. Then they attack the compound. It's really quickly back in the action again. And it's, of course, it's not actual him main compound. It's just one of their bases. But we meet the 3 amigos who are her 3 henchmen. And it's John Cena, Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds. What a fucking 3 amigos. There is comedy for you. There is action. There is a load of cool stunts. There's a shit ton that you can work with just with them 3. They are basically the big muscle and the stunts for the fighting, but there's loads of comic relief with them as well, because this film's going to be much funnier. However, Act 2 ends with a sinister turn, when Dolph Lundgren and the techie new kid get captured. The base is blown up, and just as the others just about escape, there's a point where Emilia Clarke references the third movie and the way they blew up that whole apartment block. And she's like, "Oh, I'm not falling for the same error as my father did." So obviously they can't block it with sonar and what radar or whatever they used. But anyway, we move quickly on. Act 3 is a big rescue on an aircraft carrier out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. At the beginning, there's lots of stealth and lots of silence guns. And then at the end, there's lots of big guns and explosions. We can have some relationship development with the amigos, or maybe even a side switch. Maybe John Cena doesn't feel part of the Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds bromance, so John Cena joins the good guys. Who knows? That's for the writers to decide. There's no real big deaths, though, obviously. Everyone survives. And then the movie crescendos with Stallone finding himself in front of the two captives. Martha gives him the choice and a chance to save one, which is more than he gave her father. Don't know why that line makes sense, but it doesn't. So ignore it, but it doesn't have... Maybe it can be in there. Maybe it's comedy.
I like it, yeah. I'll keep it in there.
And he has to choose which one to save. Dolph Lundgren gives this amazing speech about a promise to save the new kid. He's run his course. He was expendable. He is expendable. And, of course, Slice reluctantly agrees. So he flicks the switch or pulls the trigger or whatever he has to do to save the new kid. But obviously it was a big lie and they both die anyway. Martha at this point is behind bulletproof glass. So she escapes. She laughs an evil laugh because her thought-out plan is great. She escapes with the henchman on a helicopter. Stallone threatens almighty vengeance with and he's like, I think he said something. The subtitles will say, he threatens almighty vengeance to her and everyone she loves. So the bad guys escape and the Expendables lick their wounds and mourn losing two of their own. The end for now.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
So obviously there's going to be more films after mine. I've opened up and revitalised the franchise so we can have more comedy action movies with sinister tones.
Okay. So one question I'll be asking everyone. Let's start with Matt. Makes sense. How is your movie going to be not boring? How is it going to be different from the run-of-the-mill action movie?
So as I say, I've kind of brought in. I think we can play a lot on the old trying to do things and like probably hurting themselves, and then the new kids slide through and they do things better. So we can play on the age gap, really ham it up a bit. We've got the three amigos who are the bad guys, but they're actually just fucking hilarious. And we really lean into the comedy side of this action comedy movie. There's a load more gore. It's back to the R-rated movie for mine. We ain't PG-13 anymore. So if there's wire on a train, it's going to hack the legs off them, and they're all going to be hobbling around from their knees up. It's going to be gruesome. There's a bit of character development. We've got Dolph Lundgren giving a really powerful Oscar-winning speech. He gets Best Supporting Male for this film.
I love the sacrifice that he makes. It's going to be an Oscar.
Yeah. He's got an award now as well.
It is. It's got to be written well. Like Andy, if you're involved in the writing, then we'll know it'll be fucking great. So there you go.
Point to Matt. Okay, I like the Empire Strikes Back ending where the good guys don't win. How is the audience going to be satisfied though? And this may come in the dialogue, but with the end of Empire, there was still hope. How are you going to give hope to the audience without giving away that obviously there's going to be a fifth?
I very much need to lean into the fact that this is definitely going to be part of there's a follow-on movie coming after it. They're not going to hide from that in all our marketing. And it brings them closer together. Maybe there's a rift with this age gap, and they're starting to rift apart, but then losing two of their own, one of the old crew, one of the young bucks. Maybe it brings them closer. There's a unity. They're willing to fight together like never before. to bring her down and to kill those 2 or 3 amigos, depending on whether one turns or not.
Cool.
So yeah, you've invested in these guys. You've invested in these characters.
I get that. Final question. I don't know if we actually know the age of Mel Gibson's daughter in the first one. Does he mention that? Is she a child, a kid, a baby, a teenager? Does he say?
We've got to assume she's
He makes
in her
one slight reference
20s
to her.
or 30s.
Yeah. Okay. So I would just say, what's the time between the third and fourth one?
I'd be following on quite quickly after.
Yeah.
My thinking was, he kind of made the comment to Ronda Rousey about, feeling extra sorry for her. I've got a daughter. I get the impression Mel's old enough he could have a daughter in her 30s.
Yeah.
So
Okay, cool,
that's
cool.
why I cast Emilia Clarke and want it to come pretty much straight after the last movie.
And is she going to have all the powers of the Marvel universe? Or
No spoilers.
attempting,
No
but,
spoilers.
I know. I don't know why you're saying that.
Ooh.
I'm assuming everyone's probably watched it by now. But no, Emilia Clarke is just going to be a villain for once because I think she can play it really well. And a badass.
Fair play. Lovely stuff. Okay, let's go with Ross. Your lore, title, and blurb.
Best till second. Okay. Expendables 4. Yeah, not Expender Falls, not Expend...
Expend
not Falls,
Expender Fools, though, is such a great name for an old person film. Oh, Expender Fool
Yeah.
again. Oh, on the floor.
I expect the
being given a
fold. I like
mission-
that.
After being given a mission by Drummer to stop the world-ending... Hold on. After being given a mission by Drummer to stop a world-threatening end thing, the Expendables find that they aren't the only ones on this mission. Someone is working on the other side, and they've assembled a new team. It's time to take them to church.
Ooh.
Please say Kelsey is
Get it.
the sample that we're using for this.
All right. We open the movie, and the Expendables teams are back, and they're on a mission in some jungle place to stop a drug lord and his operation. We get some classic big action infiltration stuff with Stallone echoing his Rambo days. Maybe he kills someone with a tree, and he says, "He found the root cause." Huh? See, the root cause? Did you get it?
Yeah. Sorry, I had the idea he picked up the tree as well, rather than him like kind of shoving someone around the branch.
No.
But that's great.
Yeah. And Arnie's there, and he stabs someone, and he tells them to stick around. Anyway, the drug lord, played by Danny Trejo, manages to escape, and they get into a convoy with his other men, and they try and escape. Insert 5-minute open car chase sequence of Stallone's body double jumping from car to car until he fights Danny Trejo's body double on top of a moving vehicle, and it ends with the car driving off a cliff, and Trejo dies, and everyone thinks Stallone is dead. Maybe Statham cries a little bit, and then Stallone appears and laughs. The title sequence. They're back at the bar drinking, being men, doing men things, although now it's a bit more octogenarian. They do loads of dick measuring until Drummer walks in and gives them a mission. He tells them that an old friend has gone rogue. It's Bruce Willis as Church. Oh, fuck. Turns out that they incepted some intel that Church has gathered his own crew and is looking at stealing some nice, big, armed warheads from a military black site. So the team accept. They gather the originals and head off to the black site. They infiltrate it, not being seen by the actual army guarding it, and they're waiting. And all of a sudden, shit kicks off, and there's a huge explosion, and there's a huge fight. But the team don't know who they're fighting. But they seem to be better than them in every way. In the end, they all get beaten down, and then they see 6 people walking towards them, Reservoir Dog style, motherfucker. they see Jackie Chan, Kurt Russell, Denzel Washington,
Nice.
and Tom Hardy,
Yeah.
Nick Cage,
Hey!
and leading the band is none other than Vin Diesel.
Hey!
He bends down to Stallone and says, you don't mess with my family. And Stallone replies, who are you? Stallone replies, who are you? And then Church appears and says, they're the Dispensables.
Like they can come out of a vending machine.
Yeah.
Like they're Pez.
Yeah, they're the Dispensables.
They leave
They all
everyone
work
in
down
hell.
the pharmacy.
Yeah. The team see Church take off with the nuclear warheads, and the team lick their wounds. They have another meeting with Drummer. He tells Stallone that he needs some more people if he's going to take on this new team. Insert 5-minute montage scene of him going around getting new people. They go to Bangladesh and they hire Chris Hemsworth because
Yeah.
little nod to Extraction. Next scene,
no.
they are on a train
Oh,
and they
no.
meet Steven
Oh,
Seagal.
no.
Why?
And they hire him.
Yeah.
The next scene is they're in London, and we see that he, like Stallone, is in a casino and he's playing opposite Daniel Craig, and he hires Daniel Craig. And finally, they go to a hotel, and we see a dog, and then it pans up, and it shows Keanu Reeves.
The tongue has gone through the cheek now, I think.
With this new team assembled, they know now that the warheads Church needs. Church needs to build the missiles now. So he's got the warheads, but he actually needs the missiles. So he goes to Mickey Rourke, tells him that they're looking for missiles, or missile cases, basically, and that he would go. It's best to go to his arms dealer in Tokyo. So the team head there, come across a meeting between Church and an arms dealer. It's Robert Downey Jr.
They can't afford. They can't
There's a
afford
tense
Robert Downey
standoff between
Jr.
Stallone and
No.
Church.
It's the budget.
And awkward. There's a tense standoff between Stallone. So basically, Stallone manages to interrupt their meeting between the arms dealer Robert Downey Jr. and also Church, and he comes in and there's this awkward 3-person standoff. Church basically explains his bad guy plot and that he was used by the government, and then they got rid of when they needed him. Then they killed his family as well. They killed Church's family, and they tried to kill him. So he's going to hold the country to ransom. Anyway, a fight ensues. Both Expendables and the Dispensables fight each other. Downey gets killed, and someone quips, "He wasn't no Iron Man."
I mean,
Why?
it fits the franchise.
Someone kills Downey Jr. and he goes, "He wasn't no Iron Man."
Yeah.
He wasn't no
Yeah.
Iron Man. Yeah, anyway. They get away with the nukes. This is a 10-minute pitch, by the way. Yeah. They get away with the nukes, but the Expendables put a tracker on the cargo of the actual nukes. They track to the middle. It's near the end. Don't worry. They track it to the middle of the ocean on this big army carrier thing. The last bit of the movie, everyone has their own individual fights. The Dispensables die. Jackie Chan gets pushed onto a conveyor belt, which
Hang
then
on. No. You've not done this.
I love Jackie Chan. Wait, Jackie Chan gets pushed onto a conveyor belt, which has some sort of crushing thing at the end. Jackie Chan tries to run in the opposite direction, but is crushed. and then someone quips, "Rush hour." Kurt Russell gets killed in the face. Because Kurt Russell gets killed in the face, and then someone quips, "There's a problem with your face." Big Trouble in Little China quote. Denzel Washington gets set on fire, and then someone says, "Man on fire."
I don't even remember Denzel Washington being
He was
in this
once
pitch until
2
just
hours
now.
ago, Matt. 2 hours ago when this
He's
started.
part of
Yeah,
the
he will,
Dispensables.
Oh, shit.
Tom Hardy gets killed by a venomous snake. And then Nick Cage gets his face taken off. And Vin Diesel gets killed by a book about family. Stallone stops the launch and ends up killing Church. And he screams, "I want you to die hard."
Screams it. Fully screams
And then they save the
that.
day. And he saves the day. Drummer says cheers, and all the new members
hell.
get matching tattoos. The end of the movie.
Right.
Wow. Amazing. Okay.
Dispensing
So,
justice.
yeah. Dispensing justice. Yes, that's the quote. I love it. You've kind of, I guess, highlighted it, but what is different about your pitch to most action movies?
Hey, it's got all of them back.
Everyone who's ever
every
been
action
in a-
movie star is there.
Yeah.
You got the New Bloods. You got Chris Hemsworth. You've got Keanu Reeves as well. Like, everyone is back with a vengeance.
Is the dog in?
And this is going to be a multi, all the film companies are going to just put all their money together to get this made so that they can afford every single person.
I like it. Okay. What's going on with Church then? Is actually Bruce Willis coming back?
Yeah. Like,
Ideal.
Yeah, like this is my ideal
Yeah.
pitch. Like if I wanted it,
Right, that's cool, yeah.
Obviously, so yeah, he would be coming back and reprising his role. Obviously, not now, but yes, like it's what my sequel would have wanted to be.
Sure. Cool. Okay, I think that's all I've got for you. Let's see what the others think about it. Drew,
Okay,
finish us off.
mine
What's
will
yours
be
called in your
Expendables
little
4.
blurb?
My blurb is
What's
I've put as much effort into coming up with these pitches, plural, as the writers of Expendable 3 did coming up with theirs. What I need to know, Andy, is whether I'm pitching this to, seeing as Sly Stallone has written them and produced them and probably wants to direct, maybe he directed this one, who fucking knows. Am I pitching this to Sly Stallone, who thinks this is a really serious, badass franchise now? Or am I pitching this to someone who has common sense and knows that it needs to be fun and over the top?
It's me. It's common sense, obviously. It's Sly's in the room, but he knows he feels bad for 3, and he wants to go back to the R rating. He wants to have that same.
All right. So my options are, just so that you know, I'll give you the brief ones. You've got the really gonzo crazy one where the Expendables get hired to go and find a team of baddies. They're internationally renowned, and they go out and hunt them down. And it's the Fast and Furious team. It's literally the team from Fast and Furious, and it's a big crossover, and they end up friends at the end because no one in either of the teams can die. They can all just stand in a line firing guns at each other, and no one will get hurt or die. So that, I think that could actually kind of be fun. But there we go. You've then got the one for Sly, which is basically Rambo again, and the team end up stranded in a jungle somewhere, and they're getting hunted down, and it's like a character piece, and they're having to do stealth and hide, and you do all the callbacks to some of their more serious movies from the 80s. And then you have mine, which is the fun one. I've still not put much effort into this, so my pitch is you get all of the gang who were in the last one, you get some up-and-comers, and I want to see them have to do a heist in the US, and you do a couple of overseas explosively violent bits that are well over the top, but then they have to come back to the US. They have to do a heist. They have to go on the run. And I figure it's been enough years that they can rip off The Raid and or Dread. So there's a bit where they're at the top of a high rise. They lose all their parachutes. They don't have helicopter support, and they have to fight their way down the building, going out the windows and back in and down stairwells. And there's like 30 of them against a whole army, and it's bonkers. And then it's like the end of Heat, where it's actually really intense, and there's a gunfight in the streets, and they're running and trying to get away. And it's an AI that they've had to break into a server room and steal an AI that's going to end the world, because that's what's happening in every movie ever, and will for the next 5 years, until the next thing comes along that the public are afraid of. Yeah, that's as much effort as I want to put into this fucking franchise.
Fair. Okay. I like the heist idea. Why is that a heist? And
They've been ordered to by someone, but something goes wrong. Like, they end up on the wrong side of the law. Like, basically, they're the R-rated A team. They have to become the R-rated A team. By the end of the movie, they've been disavowed by the American government, which, the CIA have had to mark them down as baddies. Harrison Ford's dead. Harrison Ford doesn't want to have to work anymore, so his character gets blown up. He was the only one who knew that they were actually goodies, and now at the end of the movie, they're on the run. There we go. And there's no character development.
And what was the deal?
Sorry,
with the
say again, Andy. Say again.
No, I don't need it. It's fine. What's the deal with the new people coming in?
Yeah, maybe a bit. Like maybe the first mission is their like audition, and it's fun. Like, what I would say.
Have you got any ideas about the main guy?
Yeah, I'm like a pitch.
I'm so I don't fucking care. Like, all I would say is that I think whatever I did, the reason I would be pitching a kind of Heat style heist ending is because actually it's not that expensive, but it can be really intense, so that they can save the budget to actually get really good choreographers and stunt teams, and to do and have someone who's constantly on set and in the writer's room and the production office for the entire process with a gun. And if anyone says, no, we'll do that explosion using CG, he just shoots them in the head. That's his whole job on the movie. That's part of my pitch. And they do the stunts for real, like Glen Powell falling off the cliff and parachuting down. Just do that for real. I know it's fucking dangerous, but I'd be like, whoa, that's cool. So we do that exact scene again, but it's done practically, and it would be great. There we go. Fuck Expendables 3. Fuck you, that's all you're getting.
Yeah, that was a I think that CGI scene where he skydived, like, I don't think the body moved. I think it was a picture that they literally kind of like shrunk.
Yeah, we're not here to
enlarge as it got closer to the screen.
Just
I don't think
dreadful.
he moved his limbs at all.
I would want it to be an action movie that is everything Expendables 3 is not. Everything that I complained about Expendables 3 in the main review, just reverse that. And that's my pitch. This movie's pissed me off so fucking much. I don't even want to win. I don't want to win. Fuck this movie. Sorry. I am sorry about that.
I love that.
And he's just making sub notes. Drew's
I love it.
I didn't think I was this pissed off at this movie.
I think this is what.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still gave it a one.
It can have one. I laughed at Antonio Banderas in his introduction scene, and I laughed at a couple of other bits. So I'll give it one. Some people put some effort into making this, just not the right people, and not the right effort.
I love that you managed to put 3 pictures together for this one as well. Like, this is more work than anyone in the writers' room did. Fact.
Right, there we have it. So, in one corner, we have Matt holding the minigun, pitching Stonebanks' daughter, getting revenge on the crew. Ross in the other corner with the throwing knife, pitching an evil church and his Expendables against Bounty and his merry men. And lastly, Drew in a sexy red dress, fighting MMA style, pitching 3 pitches. He didn't want... he had no effort, but pitched 3 instead of 1. And the main one being a heist action movie and fuck Expendables 3.
Oh yeah, no,
Right,
yeah,
boys.
change my title to Fuck Expendables 3.
Fights.
Damn it. Let's just give him bonus points. Fuck.
Right, why
cool.
is yours
Well,
the best?
Mine's the best because it actually follows on naturalistic sequel for once. It carries on a storyline that started a thread, has a load of action, has a female antagonist, brings me
The others don't do that, though.
Fuck you. I'm doing it because this is a true sequel. Alright? That's part of my argument. Mine is a true sequel. It carries on from the third movie, so
the
it's a
others
true
don't
sequel.
do that.
Well, fuck it. I want to
Yes,
for this
but
one.
the other... You're like,
Fuck
oh,
it.
yeah,
I
I'm
want to
bringing
for
it
this
like
one
the other
because the
one.
third one got bashed by you lot. So this way we can improve it by having some genuine carry through and maybe give some points to the third one while we're there, Ross. All right. At least I'm not just going there and just trying to tick every single cliche box I can and calling it a movie.
When are you gonna bring Batman and Superman and then start talking about Martha
I'm
again?
pretty certain oh, sorry. So the name is the thing you've got the biggest problem with. Well, I'll tell you what, Andy. If you don't like Martha, change the name, buddy. Change the letter. It doesn't even need to be an M. All right? I'm not precious about that,
Also,
Ross. I'm not the one who's
also
sitting there
Dolph
just
Lundgren dies again. He died in the first one, and then you've killed him again in the third one and in the fourth one.
Yeah, well, this time he dies properly.
Wait, he dies in the first one?
Well, he died.
Well, no,
he gets
nearly dies.
Oh, right.
he gets shot by Sylvester Stallone, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly still alive because he's in the third one. So don't try and spin something like that, Ross, for fuck's sake.
No, but
You're just trying to lace shit in Andy's head because you know mine is the best by far sequel
Yours
pick.
doesn't pick up until
Drew's
the
would
third
have
act.
been
You've just
Drew's would have smashed it if he'd just gone with his Fast and Furious meets Expendables on that. I was fucking here for. A lot better than Ross's trying to mash everything in and trying to sew it together with what loose thread he's got.
What do you mean? It's about a nuclear bomb. That's the
No, oh
simplest
my god!
thread that I can
no
do.
one gives a shit what your film's actually about. All they're sat there for is the constant cliche nods to all the other films.
Oh,
I think Andy even
I'm
said
sorry
it himself.
that is
Andy went,
literally what
the tongue is
Expendables 1
literally
was
through
about.
the cheek now. Andy even made a comment about how excessive yours were. So even
I don't
Andy
give a
knows for
shit.
a while that you went too far with it. You were trying
Look,
to film.
I've got Denzel Washington on fire, man of fire. Yeah, I've got Jackie Chan running away on a belt. Rush hour.
You know
Yeah?
what the worst part is? You don't even run Vin Diesel over with a car. You don't even run him over. He
killed
gets
by a
hit by a book
On
of
family. He gets.
You
He
don't
gets
run
killed
over
by
by
a
a
book
car,
on
you
family.
dickhead, if you want to make it about Fast and Furious.
How could no? But I penned myself into it when I put it
Well,
on
maybe
shit.
you need to loosen up and let go of some of the creative reins, buddy. Because I feel like that's your downfall.
Look, you should pick mine, Andy, because I do the ridiculous nature. I go even bigger on the fourth one, and I bring all the action heroes together, and I bring the original Expendables, why we like that, and all the stupid quotes that they did in that. And that's what I did in mine.
Andy
And I
doesn't,
killed them off
Andy
in
hasn't watched the
interesting
first
ways.
one, so you're barking up the wrong tree there. Andy's
And
only
then
watched the
Drew-
third one.
Yeah, Drew, we haven't heard from you yet,
because-
Drew. Come on, stick up your pitch.
You know, I think this movie.
We've defeated
Here's 100 million, Drew.
Okay,
Take it and make the fourth.
I think. All right, come on. No, I'm gonna. Right. Put a bit of effort into this. Right. Okay. I'm just gonna stretch. Okay.
This is exactly this is the producers of 3.
All right,
just
fine.
Like, put a bit of effort in.
No, I'm putting the effort into
into
defending
right,
myself, not working on more shit. I think that the most interesting thing that we could do with these characters, tone of the movie aside, I think it should be much more tongue-in-cheek, not as far as Ross, but I think higher energy, like more acknowledgement that these lines are being played for laughs, that they knew they were being played for laughs in the first 2 movies and they lost it for this one. We need that. And we want practical effects, which means making it a less intense, like, making it maybe a bit less of an action movie in the 80s sense and make it a bit more tense, a bit more thrillery. Remove their backup, remove the people supporting them and giving them all their big guns, make them go into a shopping mall with none of their gear and have to, like, hide and take out baddies in inventive ways and shit. Just make them do different fucking stuff, because doing the same thing 3 times is fucking bullshit. There we go. And
pretty good, guys. Pretty good.
I mean, I feel like that was better than his pitch.
what I'll say is, I think Ross's, I think that's, I thoroughly enjoyed Ross's pitch. I had a fantastic laugh, and I think that bringing Mel Gibson's daughter in as a baddie would be a good continuation of what Sly Stallone wants these movies to be. So good luck choosing, Andy. I think both of them have their merits. I'm not even going to shit on anyone else.
Right, anyone got a last shit to do, or we shit it out?
Nah, it's okay. We'll decide.
Ooh. I gotta say, yeah. Drew's last bit attempt there saved him. That was really good. I was gonna say, I liked it. Yeah. Wow, this is interesting.
Me. We've got pizzas coming, Andy.
Was it you? Oh, right. Oh, sweet. Good. What do I want to do? Oh, this is
Bribery.
hard.
That's blatant fucking bribery as well. Just drop that one into the fucking chat so casually.
Okay. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to do something I think we haven't ever done. Because I'm the host, fuck you, I'm going to do it. There's no third place today because 2 people's pitches I like equally as much. I like Drew's, short and sweet, but yeah, taking the armor and guns away and having stealthy people do that and that. And I do like the idea of a heist. That will definitely shake up the franchise anyway, and that's what I think is needed. The other second place is going to be... it's going to be...
Who gave you the best laughs? Me.
The thing is, I'm gonna say the other second place is Ross. Only slightly.
You're ridiculous.
Because I love everything about it, but it's a little bit the samey as the third. You've got,
I'm sorry. They are.
You've got a bad
they
guy.
All are.
Yeah, I know, but that's the same.
If the host actually bothered to watch the other fucking 2, they would have fucking seen that they would have all been the same.
Yeah, but I'm looking for new. I'm looking for something
because he was
new.
watching. He
and
was
if I haven't seen the other
Brooklyn
2,
Nine-Nine on the other side.
If I haven't seen the other 2, and I still think this is similar. You've got an old guy an old founder coming back. You've got another like kind of Ocean's 11 scene. Matt's at least is that I do like the 3 amigos.
I don't like Expendables 3. I'm going to watch fucking Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh, fuck Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because they'll suck me off while I'm doing it as well. Oh, I'm going to fucking eat a pizza while I'm fucking eating that as well.
I think you made the right choice, Andy. And I feel like Ross is only bitter because he realises he was too far-fetched and just needed to
I love the far-fetched. Even, the Iron Man one might need explaining to me. Did he... Who's Iron... Who is he? An arms dealer? Robert Downey Jr.
He's an arms dealer in Iron Man, isn't he?
Oh, okay.
I just think you missed a treat not calling him the Invincible Iron Man. Like, at least make a comic reference and go even one step further. Then I'd have been like, oh, clever that was, because he isn't invincible, is he?
Shut the fuck up! You won. Shut up.
Only just. I do.
Right.
I like the Three Amigos. Yeah. Let's go with Matt.
I knew I could bank on the three. I knew the Three Amigos were my trump card, and I'm glad I saved them for Act 2.
And Martha is. If we need Batman and Superman, then we can get them in as well.
Look, you call her Mary Jane. You call her Munter. You call her whatever you
Call
want.
her Munter.
It's your film now. I've sold the pitch. I've walked away with my cash and my 3 points.
You got your 100 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. What are we going to pitch? What are we going to do next week then?
Next episode, I feel like this movie could probably stir some like different feelings in people as well. But I'm intrigued to actually see what you do with it as well. Next episode, I want you guys to pitch me In Time.
Oh damn!
Oh shit! Yeah, I know. That's going to be a fun one.
In Time.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake and Amanda
Timberlake
Seinfeld.
movie where you got time. Where time is
one of the best
I've wanted to do this one for
movies.
ages. This is going to be a great one.
I have a real
I saw
soft
it
spot for this
scrolling through
movie because it
movies.
hates rich people.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. And I think a
I
second.
knew we'd get some juicy goss talking about this film. And we
Maybe.
can talk about maybe
I
how
like
good
it.
or bad the film is as well.
Done. I'm not coming next week. Done.
In Time. Wow. There we go.
Sorry.
Thanks you for no. There we go. That's the end, unfortunately. Thanks you everyone for listening. Head over to sequelpitch.com. Actually, I was going to say, is that
sequelpitch.com.
website wrong last time? Is that actually our website, sequelpitch.com, or is it something else? Yeah.
It is.
And there we go. So thank you everyone for listening. Head over to sequelpitch.com where you can listen to over 70 hours of us calling each other names and saying we're better than the other ones. Do it now. Honestly, stay up tonight and listen to some episodes. What else are you going to do? Sleep? If you have an idea for a movie we should sequelize, head over to fucking X. We've got to get used to, I guess, saying X. And let us know. And keep an eye out on...
We're on Instagram, we're on Threads, we're on Facebook.
We're on everywhere. Let us know.
Oh my god.
Are we on Pornhub?
Shall we start uploading
Why not?
our episodes to porn? Just someone's mid-fat and they're like, oh, it goes to the next video. And
Hell
it's just
yeah.
audio of us being terrible at talking about movies. I'm going to do it.
Greatly terrible.
Amazing.
Terribly great at talking about movies is what we are.
There we go. So comes the end of another episode. A big thank you to me, of course, for hosting this amazing episode. I should recognise my guests. Joint second place winners this week. It's Drew Toynbee. And Ross Harmston.
Bye.
And our winner, Matt Rushton.
Yeah.
You know it. Bringing the fire, bringing the guns, bringing the gun show. Yeah, action movies.
There we go. Don't worry. All three will be replaced by younger models next episode. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next episode where we will be doing In Time. Goodbye.